The Naruto TCG now has an online simulator that you can play with your friends today. There are a couple simulators, but I'll have this one linked in the description down below. And I think just whichever one matures the most and gets things done the quickest is going to be the more dominant one. But this one has online matchmaking, so you can have a lobby with your friend. And it also has matchmaking for just randoms if you want to queue up, go against someone else. And then another cool feature that I like about this one is you're able to replay your different matches, so that way you can watch it back and then see things where you could have improved on or done better. There's a Discord with this as well for you to report any bugs that you guys have, but I want to go over the rules first and then we're going to revisit this simulator because I did promise that I'd come back with the updated rules once we got more information about what's official from Gen Con. Now I'll have this linked in the description as well, and this is from the Naruto card game Reddit if you guys want to check this out or download a copy just to have a comprehensive rule set. I also went over all of the demo decks in extreme detail on what all of the effects do, how they combo off of each other in the last video. So subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the Naruto TCG, and then I'll have that video linked at the end of this for you to check out. But we're going to start with deck building. Decks are going to consist of 50 different cards. You're able to have up to 3 copies of each, 1 leader card, 5 chakra cards, 1 summon card, and all cards in the deck must share the same color with the leader. And these are things that we know from the video, but we'll get into more specifics as we get further down, so don't leave just yet. As the game starts, both players draw a hand of 5, and then the player going second is allowed to mulligan their full hand once. It's going to be kind of weird, and it's going to be like, what is more optimal? Being able to get a good start and go second and get that mulligan, or going first and then setting up your support ambush cards, which are kind of like the trap cards for those of you that aren't familiar. So like getting set up, what's more important? I have a feeling that this mulligan is going to be good just so that way you can avoid bricks. So going second might be the play, but we'll have to see. Now, the different phases that we have is the start phase, the refresh phase, and this is going to be untapping all of your cards. So your summon card, any cards that attacked are going to untap, not your chakra, which we'll get into that in a second. And then we have your main phase. And this is not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Main phase, battle phase, main phase 2, end phase, like they have all these phases. With this, you're going to be able to summon a card, attack. I think people say this plays more like the One Piece TCG. So you can summon, attack, see what they do, and then summon again, attack again. You don't have to strategically plan all of these before you go into your battle phase, which I think I've never played a TCG like that. So I'm interested, and I kind of like this because it gives more options to not have to fully commit before you enter like your battle phase with Yu-Gi-Oh! And then followed by your opponent's turn, and then they have these same phases. During the draw phase, the player going first draws 1 card, the player going second draws 2 cards, and then from turn 2 onwards, both players draw 2 cards, which this immediately like ups my opinion on the Sasuke deck, where with the Sasuke leader, you're able to draw 1 card, put 1 card at the top of your deck. And I was like, well, you're just going to be stuck in a loop of drawing the same cards if you don't find a reason to shuffle. But this draw 2 cards just immediately gets rid of that thought. So that's interesting. So not only will the second player have card advantage at the start, they're also going to be able to mulligan to have the advantage from not bricking. I mean, you can mulligan and brick again, but there's going to be a pretty big advantage for going second, but you will have to play through your opponent's supports or trap cards. So during the main phase, you can play cards from your hands and activate jutsus. Normal summons are limited 1 per turn and are performed by resting your summon card. And just to give you a visual example of what this looks like, we see he summoned and then he flipped his summon card down here on the bottom left over. So he tapped his summon card to summon his Ino, and then they set these different support cards that are face down from the opponent's perspective, like we see on the other side, but you can see them in the simulator. And so these are going to essentially be like your trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're familiar. And then we have EX characters, which can be summoned by triggering different card effects. And this isn't done by tapping your summon card, which is limited to once per turn. And summoning EX cards aren't once per turn. As long as you can fulfill the requirements, according to what we have right now, you can summon as many EXs per turn as you want. Now, in case you're not familiar, I'm trying to make sure that everyone is up to speed and I'm not just talking like you guys already have all of the knowledge that I do, or some of the people that have been sleuthing through all of the information. But Gamabunta is an EX summon for the red Naruto that we have revealed right now. And we see that his summoning condition is that you place 1 of your characters with 10 or more power in your trash. And so with this Naruto, you're able to flip one of your chakra down and then boost up a character's power by 3 for this turn. So what this person likely did was boosted their Minato, got him up to 11 power, tributed him to EX summon this Gamabunta, and then Gamabunta's on summon effect allows him to summon one non-EX Uzumaki, Naruto, Jiraiya, or Minato. So he was able to bring this one back. Now, one ruling that I want to clarify that I made a mistake in my last video, I thought this Naruto leader, the red leader effect, could only be activated once per turn. This can be activated as many times as you want, as long as you have the chakra to do it. So it costs 1 chakra, and really your only limiting factor from powering up all of your shinobi is if you want to tap all 5 chakra. Another correction that we got with more rules is that one of the leaks for the field came out, and we initially thought that one of the slots was for your EX summon, and that wasn't the case. That slot was for a exile, so things are going to be able to be banished probably in the future when we get more effects. So you're able to summon 5 different EX cards. If you can fulfill the requirements and get them on the field, you're not limited to just having one out at a time, which is another clarification. And then finally, during your main phase, characters cannot perform an attack on the turn that they're played unless they have the rush keyword, which we'll get into when we get to the keyword section. But TLDR, rush means that you can attack when you're summoned. And so I believe people call it summoning sickness, where you have to wait a turn after you summon before you can start swinging and attacking. Now for the battle, each character has 2 values, damage and power. So if we highlight, we see that this Ino has 5 power, 2 damage, and 8 HP. But let's just focus on damage and power for now. Damage is the value used when she's attacking a leader. So we have Ino with this 2 damage, and this is going to be used because this leader has 1 damage. Power is the value we're going to be using when we're attacking other characters. So we have our 5 power, and if I wanted to swing in this Minato has 8 power. To attack, rest the attacking character, which this card likely attacked this Gamabunta, and so that's why it's sideways, and that is what resting a character means, or resting your summoning card, turning it sideways or tapping it, so that way we know that it's been used already. You can only attack characters that are in rest mode. You can attack the leader even if they're in active mode. So right now, if it were my turn as the Ino player, I wouldn't be able to attack this Minato. I would have to attack this Gamabunta. Well, not have to, but that would be my only option to attack because it's rested. So it's kind of like pros and cons. You can swing and attack, but if you do, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to be attacked on the back end when it's your opponent's turn. So dealing damage. Subtract the attacking character's power from the defending character's HP. So I don't believe I have to have more power than this Gamabunta to attack it. If I attack with my 5 power, they have 8 HP, so then there will be 3 HP left. Then if I had another ninja on the field, let's say that I had this Naruto in my active slot, it has 5 power, I would then be able to attack this Gamabunta again with my Naruto and knock it off the board. And so that would qualify the defending character's HP dropping to 0 and it being defeated. And so then when this is defeated, this Gamabunta would go to the trash area and be removed from the field. Only the defending character takes damage. So the attacking character can't take damage in the battle phase in most normal situations. So let's say, for instance, I didn't kill that Gamabunta with my Ino. That damage, once the turn ends, is going to be removed. So it'll remain if I want to swing with 2 characters to try and take it down. But if I go to the end phase and pass the turn over, the damage is going to reset and I'm going to have to take down the Gamabunta with 8 HP again when it's my turn. And then I think a big thing for those of you coming from other TCGs, there are no blockers in this game. I don't know if that's a as of now type of thing, or if it's an indefinite, we aren't going to have any blockers at all. So here's the attack sequence when we get into the damage step and allowing your opponent to react with some of their support cards. So I would declare that I'm attacking Gamabunta with my Ino. Then if I have any effect declarations that happen with my character attacking, maybe the Ino has some type of effect, which she doesn't, but there's probably going to be cards that do. That will be a chance for those to activate. And then we have the support cut in. So an example of this would be we have this Jiraiya, and then during your opponent's attack, you can choose 2 rested characters and KO the chosen cards. So this would be a chance for them to chain on this support ability and tap their 2 chakra. And then we have the damage step after that. Now the chains are going to resolve backwards. So if I were to activate this Jiraiya with 2 Chakra, there's a Shisui card that allows you to negate the effect of any support card, which is a reaction that you can only activate that card when your opponent activates a support. So then that would chain on top of this Jiraiya. The Shisui would resolve, it would negate this Jiraiya, and then the attacks would go through and you wouldn't be able to KO 2 rested characters. Next is the Chakra cards. Each player starts the game with 5 Chakra. It's not like you're gonna have to build up your Chakra turn by turn. The Chakra cards are placed in a face-up Chakra area. Chakra is used to activate the support effects such as ninjutsu, so we can activate and use Chakra with this support effect, or we can do it with this leader. There's gonna be multiple use cases for Chakra, and then once you spend it for that use case, you flip it face down. Your Chakra is not going to automatically flip face up at the start of your turn during the refresh phase. That's the one thing that can be tapped that isn't going to refresh. There is no passive Chakra recovery at all. The only way for you to recover your Chakra is to rest your leader, and that's what this recovery means at the bottom portion of this, which I can't really scroll up, but recovery, and you can only do that after the second turn or later. And then if you do that, your leader is rested and they're not going to be able to attack in rest mode. So we have support characters and cards. Support characters have 3 different uses. Normal summon, which summons them into the character area where we have our Ino. We can place them in the set face down, or they call it an ambush, which will put the cards in the support area, which would be like our opponent has all of these face down. And then we can use them to activate ninjutsu directly from our hand. So this Choji, for instance, has quick. This could be activated from my hand if I'm attacking and I want to double my Ino's power and get his support effect off. Now, I would still need the Chakra, but this can be used from my hand. So a few caveats: activating ninjutsu cards from your hand can only be done during your turn, and then characters in ambush can activate ninjutsu on your opponent's turn. So if you set them, those are live whenever, but if it's your turn, you can kind of use your ninjutsu as hand traps from your hand, as opposed to having to set them and then use them. Support timing explained. Support effects that can be played on your turn can be played from the hand or the support area, but they must meet the timing requirement still of being done during your turn. Support effects that can only be played on your opponent's turn, those must be played from the support area during their turn, even if it does have quick in its name, similar to we see this quick with Choji, but this is not the best example. But even if it has quick, it has to be set and it's usable on your opponent's turn. And now quick just means that it can be played at any valid support card cut-in response window, but it must be played from the support area on your turn. So that's going to be going back to this support cut-in step where we can activate those quick ones. We kind of covered this already, but if multiple effects are chained together, resolve the supports in order starting from the last one that was activated. So it resolves backwards, similar to Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I gave you guys a really good example of that earlier. And then the EX character cards, these are special cards that can't be played via normal summons. They have to be played by meeting their specific requirements. And that's going to vary from EX to EX. Not all of them are going to have similar requirements. So the board layout, we kind of touched on this. Up to 5 characters in the support area, up to 5 characters in the character area, 50 cards in the deck, 50 cards in the trash. That's like the breakdown. Pretty straightforward, no way around it. And then we have the different keywords. Rush means that you can attack on summon. Quick means that this card can be activated from your hand at any time, except for when it's your opponent's turn, then it has to be set. And then support activated means that you can use that only when your opponent activates a support card. And then lastly, they have the links to the demo deck lists. But like I said earlier, I'll have all of these linked in the description down below, so that way you guys can get started playing with your friends. But if you guys want to stay up to date on all Naruto TCG, be sure to like this video and subscribe, and then check out this video right here, where I go into all of the cards in extreme detail and I explain combos with them, use cases for them, all the situational things that you need to know to be fully up to speed with all the Naruto TCG information we have right now for the Naruto starter deck and the Sasuke starter deck. But thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you over in that video.